Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is going to be this week's Top 5 Wednesday, and this week the topic is about books that deal with hard subjects. So that means mental or physical illness, addiction, abuse, anything like that. I would just like to mention that I am wearing my anxiety t-shirt today. This is by an artist called Toby Allen. His website is Zesty Does Things. This is part of his Real Monsters series. He basically depicts mental illnesses as monsters. So as I said, this is the anxiety one, but he also has a whole range of other mental disorders. There's depression, paranoia, bipolar, borderline personality, schizophrenia, a whole load of amazing artwork. Not just t-shirts, there's I think mugs and posters and tote bags and things like that. I will leave the link to his website down below, so definitely check that out if you are interested. And without further ado, I'm going to get right on into the books. So the first one I have to talk about is It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. This is about a teenager called Craig who suffers from anxiety and depression, and he finds himself in a mental institution where he meets a whole bunch of eccentric and really cool characters. I read this a few years ago when I was kind of going through similar things. I was going through anxiety and depression myself, and therefore I think it really spoke to me. I read it at the right time in my life for me, I think. So I definitely recommend it if you are also going through any of that. It's also based on the author Ned Vizzini's real experience of being in a mental institution, so therefore I think it's kind of accurate, an accurate depiction of what it's actually like. Obviously I don't know, I can't speak for myself, but because it's written from real life experience, I imagine that it is. Ned Vizzini very tragically committed suicide a few years ago, not long after I read this actually, and yeah, so essentially he did lose his battle with depression, which is so sad, and I really hate thinking about it. So if you kind of read this after in light of that, then you may get like a whole kind of more poignant, deeper kind of feeling from it. So yeah, I might reread it, and I probably will kind of get those feels. So yeah, that is that. The next one I had to talk about is The Shining by Stephen King. Now this probably isn't an obvious choice for this video, but there's alcoholism in it. The main character, Jack Torrance, is an alcoholic, and I think that's possibly something that gets a little bit lost when we talk about The Shining and its, you know, place as a horror book. Probably a lot of you have seen this film with Jack Nicholson in it, but I thoroughly recommend that you read the book if you enjoyed that. You probably know that it's about a guy called Jack who gets a job as a caretaker of a hotel over the winter. So he, his wife and his young son, who has the Shining, which is a special kind of supernatural ability, move there for the winter, and the hotel kind of takes over. But it's essentially about alcoholism and how it can lead into madness and disillusion, and basically how it can destroy your life. So yeah, The Shining is definitely a good choice for this video. The next book I have to talk about is Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLaria. This is about a girl called Laurel who gets an English assignment to write a letter to a dead celebrity, and she chooses Kurt Cobain. But after the English assignment is over, she continues writing to celebrities who died young. So she writes to Amy Winehouse, Heath Ledger, River Phoenix, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, just because it helps her cope with the death of her sister. So the reason I've chosen it for this video is because there is sexual abuse in this. So obviously that's a really hard topic to write about and to talk about. So kind of through these letters we get a sense of her relationship with her sister. We see all of the events that happened before her sister's death, and we get a really good impression of Laurel's life, and it's pretty tragic. It's quite similar to Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you haven't read that, then, or if you have read it and enjoyed it, I'd say this is definitely for fans of that. The next one I have to talk about is a book that I read quite recently, as you probably know, and that is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This is about two teenagers, Finch and Violet. Finch is suicidal and Violet has recently lost her sister, and obviously Finch has depression. He has I think he has bipolar, if I remember rightly, so he kind of has delusions as well and things like that. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but it has an incredibly heartbreaking and thoughtful ending. There's a lot of very, very powerful lines in this, so if you like kind of beautifully written YA contemporary books, then I thoroughly recommend that you pick this up. And the last book I have to talk about is a book that is also a film, and I think the film is possibly more popular, and I can't actually say too much about why it's in this video for fear of spoilers for those who haven't read it or seen it, but it is Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. This is obviously an ebook version, and I don't have the nicest cover of it, unfortunately, but I've read this and I've seen the film as well, and it's because I can't say too much because of spoilers, I was just going to say it's about a mental illness. So those of you who have read it or seen it know what I'm talking about and know why it's in here. So yeah, that's why it's here. And that's all I have for you today. On the blog today, I have a blog post about more books that cover mental health, because it's something that is very, very personal to me and something that I actually look for in a book. So I have a lot of books that deal with mental illnesses, so I felt that they kind of needed a longer blog post. So therefore that's what's on the blog today. I'll leave all of my social media down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.